Oh my god, a spooky spider!
Amity is so ready for Halloween, as you can see.
She's done. That's a look right there.
Happy October from Aliens on Fire.
Trick or treat, bitches.
Oh gosh, she's grabbing onto the webs. Because she's a spider, she's grabbing onto the web. Of course, this is the time that we need to be talking about things that scare us.
Yeah, I am scared.
We pride ourselves on being pretty difficult to scare, but...
Oh, I thought you were going to say we pride ourselves on being difficult, which is also...
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
But tonight, we are putting our reputation on the line because we are going to reveal to you the movies that scare us the most. In my opinion, I feel like fear is a personal thing. Like there's certain things that scare people that aren't gonna scare other people. I'm pretty sure you've seen at least one of these movies, but you might even discover something new. And at the very least, this is your excuse to call us a bunch of pussies.
Prepare to be disappointed in us.
That being said, I'm Bethany Summersizzle, and
this is Aliens on Fire.
a microphone.
That's not what microphones do.
Thoughts.
If you put it on, you can hear Michael Myers murdering someone.
Well, it is spooky season, folks.
And our 1-year anniversary.
Oh my god. We've been doing this for a year. Guys, we have survived each other for a year.
We've survived each other for much longer than a year at this point, but we've survived posting our problems online.
Thank God. Now let's see if we can survive the hollow shells.
Oh, nice!
Yeah! See? The first movie we're gonna be discussing tonight is my hit, Survive the Hollow Shoals.
I'm here on a 60-day survival challenge. I've got some limited tools, a canteen, a knife, and some camera equipment, and that's it.
Is this in my way? This movie takes place in the woods.
I keep hearing shit. I'm definitely being followed. It's a woman. She's got black hair. Not wearing any shoes. I don't know if she's living out here.
Our main character, Zach, is dropped off in the shoals, because it's called in the Hollow Shoals in Georgia. I'm not sure if this is like a real place or anything, but probably not.
Yes, Georgia is a real place.
Oh, I mean the Hollow Shoals.
So why is this the scariest movie for you?
I will say that In the Woods horror is probably my favorite, or it's becoming my favorite type of horror. Like at least with this one, especially if you're by yourself, you're just so helpless. There's obviously other films that I find creepy and whatever. I think that this one is so effective because I love just how slowly everything starts to kind of happen. Some people might think, oh, this is just like a really slow movie. Fair enough.
Whatever that noise was pretty damn scary. I'm not sure what it was.
It just kind of starts with turning the camera on and just saying, I heard some sounds or some noises. After those first noises that he hears, it just progresses and it's like non-stop. As an audience, we are made to assume that he's in this
labyrinth?
No. Not that labyrinth.
A shoal?
Dimension. Like a different dimension or something. What I think happens, especially with kind of the explanation at the end, this is just my theory because there's no explanation for any of this. He's led off track. He's in this realm where there's this witch that's conjuring all these things in her own little world that he is in, and she is preventing him from leaving, and she is doing work with the devil, which is what that big roar that you hear and the time when the trees fell, that's why he was trapped and he couldn't get out. That's the whole reason I love this movie, is because it's so psychological. He can't even find food because she makes it impossible.
I'm trying to understand why I can't see any actual animals out here and very, very few tracks.
he can hear like children laughing, he can hear voices, he can hear animals, but they're not actually in there with him. He can hear these various things, but he is in his own little bubble of hell. This is what I would think hell would be like. Maybe there was more than one lady out there.
It seems
what
like
do you
a
think
lot.
the child sounds and the people talking were? Because I thought that was maybe like previous campers or something that were out there and they died and now like their spirit is just kind of like, or do you think that they are out there but he's in that little bubble and he can hear their voices but he can't see them, so it's kind of like The Others where it's like he's like in this like little, I'm very passionate.
No, you just
about
have, you've
this
seen
movie.
it so many times to where you have like these theories worked out and I'm trying to keep up but having only seen it once. That's a fair theory that he was in some sort of like parallel dimension where he was in the woods,
that's
but
the words I was looking
wasn't.
for.
You're trying to like piece it out the whole time, like while you're watching it. You're like, okay, so this is happening. What does that mean? I have my own fan theory. I think his girlfriend was the witch. She just dropped him off and then went out there and fucked with him.
Oh shit. And then how would you explain all the different noises, stuff like
She
that?
had a boombox.
There was like one jump scare.
You're talking about the eyes.
No, I thought it was brilliantly placed because I have not seen this actually done in a found footage, you know, like where they're usually saying like, oh, if anybody finds this, my name is whatever.
All right, this is not good. If anyone finds this, my name is Zach Wild.
And then all of a sudden, there she is. That jump scare was great because it's unexpected. And what I like about him is while he maintains composure, right?
Yeah.
Or you can tell that he's breaking down. He mentions how the fire that he creates, that's his way to have food, that's his warmth, that's his friend. There's a moment where he's just sitting in his shelter and he's rocking back and forth and he's like hyperventilating. For me, I'd either just completely collapse in a ball and start screaming and crying, or whatever this fucking thing is that's walking around outside. I think I would be so delirious and crazy at that point that I'd just be like, take me! Like, you know, in The Witch, I would just kind of be like, what do you want me to do? I will join you at this point because I would be so desperate for companionship. Probably wouldn't work out, you know, and she'd probably still kill me,
Dude,
but
that should be a found footage movie.
yeah.
Like, somebody's out in the woods and the spooky things are happening.
Right.
And instead of trying to escape or fight the demon,
Right.
they like put a ritual sacrifice out for it. I want to make friends with you. I don't want to get killed.
Get the fuck out of here!
Let's talk about diegetic sounds and music.
I know what you're gonna say.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just queuing you up.
So there is a couple of moments where there's like the dun 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 dun, like a little bit of music in there that I don't particularly like in found footage movies.
Here's the thing though.
Okay.
I agree that there shouldn't be music, non-diegetic music, in found footage. But I liked the music in this.
There's so many noises and so many different things happening. I was like, maybe the music is even coming from this other world.
No.
God damn, dude.
The eyes were the most effective part.
Did you like that part or not?
It was a good scare.
I don't really care for stuff like that, and I thought that was great.
If it had been the only scare and there had been no non-diegetic sounds, that would have gotten under my skin. It's kind of
The
like
screaming. Oh my god.
That middle part, really. You said the first act's a little bit of a slow burn, and like it was kind of more of a slow burn for me because I was like, why are we watching his camping stuff instead of...
See, I'm so interested in that. He's got his little can, which I think he should have had maybe something bigger. He ends up making like some soup with that out of onions that he finds.
Then he
But
finds
then
a
he-
book.
He had attacks. Pulling on my legs as I sleep.
If I was in that situation, that little fucking book is going in the fire the first night. I don't need that fucking thing hanging around.
Well, he kept like reading it.
Yeah.
That would just be freaking me out even more.
No, that's like
You know
that's
what I
like
mean?
watching the Hollow Shoals and then going camping. Like, no. And then the third act is very heavy on the horror, but that second act, just that's where all the mystery is. That's where the confusion is, and it's like you're getting the sounds, but you're not getting the answers yet. And you're like, okay, how many people are fucking with him? How many women are out in the woods?
I found myself, especially upon watching it a few times, looking around the woods when he was saying, this thing is fucking following me, and almost seeing things at certain points. Like that's how much it was getting to me.
Sometimes it's the silent horror that really gets to me.
Yeah.
You know, when the jump scare is purely visual and they don't put a loud noise with it and you just really don't see it coming.
Maybe if they had only shown the witch or whatever she was, they only had showed her maybe once, that would have been probably sufficient. I think they showed her like too many times. I think the only reveal should have been like something's walking through, kind of like the birthday scene in Signs, where the thing just kind of walks across.
I'm gonna take a wild guess about what your other complaint might be.
Okay. Oh, the skeleton!
Oh my god.
How does that not completely take you out of it?
Well, okay, like they could have maybe made it look more realistic.
Come with me, murderess.
We both know that the skeleton was goofy.
Yeah, okay, I did not find it goofy though.
Really?
I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, especially with a low budget found footage movie. I'm definitely not expecting that. I let my imagination kind of like take over the little
It's
that are.
Suspension of disbelief is what you're talking about. That you know
What's
what that
that mean?
Suspension. Welcome to our movie channel. We're gonna learn a word together today. Say it with me. Suspension. That is the concept of being able to let your critical mind go while absorbing film.
If you don't have that, then you just be picking apart everything.
And this is not the case with this movie, but you know that like when a movie has made so many bad choices that it eventually you lose your suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The skeleton was scary to me because it told me people have died out here, especially the little hut that was nearby. I guess that was like the witch's hut. So she was maybe like eating them and shit.
It made me very concerned that somebody had lost their Halloween decorations. The guy in the movie, he's really what sold the whole thing.
And he's not annoying, right?
They don't talk about what happens to your head when you're out here.
There's nobody else. There's just him. And what drives me crazy in a lot of found footage movies where there's other people, there's like arguments that are happening. There's a lot of like drama and stuff like that. And it kind of takes me out of the horror aspect. Skipping ahead here, I didn't like the ending where he just like got wrapped up and dragged away because they build up so much and you're thinking there's gonna be like this epic death scene.
Like the instant blood all over him.
Yeah.
The camera work, it was done right. The whole found footage while still keeping things in frame but looking natural and all of that. The reason this movie didn't stick the landing for me was just like one thing, and this is probably a nitpick. They never established how many cameras he had or how many batteries he had, because
that's a thing, right?
There is no way you're setting up a second camera outside and running it all night.
That happens a lot in found footage movies though, and
Yeah.
that is just something that, once again, the suspension of disbelief, that's our new phrase that we learned today, is something that you're just gonna have to get out of your head. And you
Yeah.
did say it was a nitpick.
But
I
as a
understand.
film guy, as a video
I get
guy,
it. He just keeps it running all night. I just
while
watched-
having another camera on him inside his little
Sure.
hut.
Well, no,
and
doesn't he just turn that on when he wakes up? when he's
at certain points, they're both on. It's like cutting from the
Hmm.
exterior to him and his thing. And then he's like got the camera on him,
Yeah.
which I don't know why he would do that.
Well, at some point, we gotta make a movie here. I found it intense, very unsettling, because if something's just like kind of confusing and not really making sense and it's fucking with your mind, that is really scary. If you're like me and you have like a huge imagination, you're just thinking of all these different types of things.
I think confusion is kind of at the core of fear. People are afraid of the unknown,
Yeah.
you know, and people get nervous around other people who they don't quite understand.
Just all these things that I freaking love that really just freak me out. It's a movie that scares me, but it's also a comfort film. Like, I could watch this a few times. It's one that I want to tell people about. The fear diminishes a little bit after you watch the movie. Like the honeymoon phase.
The horror honeymoon phase. He does go out there and does the, what do you want from me? But I don't think he sincerely wanted to know what she wanted. He was just upset.
I don't think anybody actually, when they say that in a movie, I don't think anybody wants to know what the thing wants.
What if when he said that, he just heard like, some Taco Bell? He just goes, oh, that's what you wanted. And he just leaves and gets some Taco Bell and brings it back.
Yeah, but he can't leave.
She would let him go for some Taco Bell, I think. Maybe that's why she was cranky. She just hadn't eaten.
I think you're cranky because you haven't eaten. We will eat something after this, I swear to God. Just get through this with me.
I'm leaving.
You know,
I quit.
Okay. Subscribe and find out what we have in store for you next. Hit that bell. I'm hearing that people should do. Hit it. Hit. What are you?
Hit.
What are you, a minor bird? What are you doing?
Got some soup in me, which was awesome. Had some fiddle ferns.
You're a little stringy, but it'll do. My scariest movie is not wholly original or remotely obscure. It's the Blair Witch Project. We didn't even intend to do a found footage video, but both of our scariest movies turned out to be found footage. And for me, this one is just a movie that freaked me out when I first saw it, and it just still freaks me out now. You know, a lot of movies, you find them scary maybe the one time, and then they're not scary the second or third.
Now, what's the plot?
Film students go out in the woods and get haunted by a witch until they all end up getting killed.
Were you a part of the, like, group of people that thought everything was real?
Yes.
Has spawned the most frightening investigation on television.
I don't feel too comfortable with seeing the last few days of my brother's life on video.
Sci-Fi presents the uncensored investigation, Curse of the Blair Witch.
Suspension of disbelief.
There you go.
When did this come out again?
1999. The year that The Mummy came out. The Matrix.
Wait, the Mummy's that old?
The Mummy's that old. Yes, mummies are old. That's kind of like part of their whole thing. So I didn't know, and that was the thing, is there was a class of people who were like, oh, did you know this thing is real? And then there were people who were like, I've heard it's real. I wonder. And the funny thing is, I saw it in theaters. Like, the tension was palpable. And then it cuts to black at the end, and it says, directed and written by blah, blah, blah. And everybody in the crowd did this, like, collective scoff.
I'm pretty sure that that's
directed.
why they had, like, the actors, like, keep a low profile and even, like, put out
Missing poster.
and
There was, like, websites, you know, telling the whole backstory of it. The actors did keep a low profile, but that was just during, like, the initial run. Actually, Josh has gone on to be a pretty good filmmaker, directing, writer guy himself, and made a couple of movies with the girl from Teeth.
Okay, here's your motivation. You're lost, you're angry in the woods, and no one here is here to help you. There's a fucking witch.
I mean, do you still find it as effective?
Yes, because as a
When you
horror
watch it
movie, it's still really scary, and I think because it's completely cerebral. There is no monster on screen.
I do like that.
And also, like, I grew up in the country, you know? I spent time...
Me too.
No. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, camped out in the woods. I was a rugged kid. You were at dance class. And also, I grew up in a haunted house. I don't know if I've ever told you about that.
No such thing.
And I get why people don't find it scary, if they don't. But I think it's similar to The Exorcist, which was also the scariest thing ever when it came out.
That was visual, though. I think that people...
Yes. But it's still, like... The Exorcist is, like, silly to people now.
And I guess it was when she was talking the devil's voice. Oh, God, I can't believe it.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, you careless super.
Really? Your wig is a mess.
Are you gonna go back in and see more of the movie now?
Probably, yeah.
It's probably still the most realistic found footage movie. I don't know. You watch a lot of them.
I do. Why do I feel so close?
Because you keep moving. Leave enough room for Jesus. The first thing that it gets right, that you've mentioned before that found footage has to do, is the reason that they're recording everything. They got that. They were like, they're film students, and they're making a documentary. This is another reason why Be My Cat was so effective, is because it starts off with like,
Which you also thought was real.
That's true. It says at the beginning, like, here's just some footage from the 25 hours of stuff that was collected from this crime scene. And the same thing with Blair Witch. It's just like, if I found that footage in the woods and I edited that together, I would include that stuff of like old people explaining the story and everything, because people need that context. You know, they show some of the documentary footage that they're making, but it's not curated, or it's like behind the scenes, and she's so bad at it. She's all like, this is the place where they found, you know.
Many of whom remain, either on this hill or in the town below.
Another reason that it's effective is that it doesn't have the Hollywood gleam on it. Yeah. The people are real. They didn't get like a super hot chick to be the chick. They didn't get two guys who look like twins with square jaws.
You're very specific.
They just look like film students from... Where did they shoot that? Blair Witch.
I don't know. It's not my movie.
Another problem with a lot of found footage is they get to the creepy parts and then they just cut away. If you found footage of somebody being dragged away by a ghost, you wouldn't cut that part out.
What drives me crazy in a lot of found footage movies, there's like arguments that are happening. There's a lot of like drama and stuff like that. And it kind of takes me out of the horror aspect. Even though I think I remember people saying like that was like real arguing.
Yeah,
but it just gets annoying after a while.
I find it annoying when the arguing between like the infighting with the protagonists starts to become one of the threats in the movie. And it's like, I just want to focus on the main bad thing. I don't want to... We don't need this second thing. So I know what you're talking about. I don't find it annoying in Blair Witch because it's just part of their like character. And then you have the fact that they actually stayed out there in the woods and lived the whole thing.
I do really like. And a lot of the emotions and stuff were real. Like, I did find it a little boring. You know, I think just because I already knew before I saw the movie, when I actually did watch the movie, I already knew what to expect. I knew at the end he was going to be standing near the wall. I knew that you're never going to see the witch.
Have you been able to appreciate it on rewatches?
I do appreciate it. I appreciate most films for what they are. Maybe that's not true.
Yeah, and I'll say too that like with Blair Witch, I actually wasn't scared watching it. I've never really been scared watching Blair Witch. It just always sticks with me. I think I slept with my lights on for like a month after I saw it.
So it did scare you. See, same with Hall of Shoals with me.
I don't know if I've ever even seen anybody really talk about how effective this part is. They have the two cameras. They've got the film camera and they have the video camera. And the film camera doesn't have sound, because that's how film cameras work. So at one point, they're in different parts of the house, and you can still hear the microphone from the video camera, but we're seeing the footage from the film camera. We're with Heather, but her voice is like distant. These are things you got to do in found footage. Since you can't add like music and you can't add dream sequences or hallucinations to found footage, like everything's got to be on camera. You have to use the setting and the circumstances. Like a lamp falls behind a red curtain and the whole room turns red. Whereas in a film, like a normal movie, you could just turn the room red and say, it's a metaphor. At no point does the story not seem feasible. You never go like, oh, it was a witch that doesn't exist. Like, no matter how much you can't be scared, you get alone in the right kind of place, in the right kind of circumstances, and hear the right kind of stories, you will just run. You'll run, you know?
Not me.
If you were in a tent in the woods and you heard children laughing at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so my first thought, if I heard voices or laughing or anything in the woods, was that it was cannibals or like woods people that were going to kill me. So
Yeah.
yes, I would be scared, but the last thing I would think is it's some like entity or something.
Right.
What do you think that was last night?
Personally,
Yeah.
I think it was someone fucking with your head.
And nobody knows we're out here.
Yeah, but you ever see Deliverance?
Because they never go full paranormal with the visuals in it, you never get to a point where you go, oh, this is a fake story that's just a spooky ghost. It stays in that realm of this could happen to you. And I've certainly heard noises in the woods that are unexplainable and gone like, now have you heard about the fan theory, the alternate plot? So there's this fan theory that there was no witch, and the whole excursion was just Josh and other guy. People remember Josh because they scream his name like 50 times in the third act.
Josh! Tell me where you are, Josh!
Mike. The entire excursion was a plan between Mike and Josh to successfully murder Heather and disappear.
Okay.
And they established that there's like a past relationship between her and Josh. Then they have all of their static, that goes on during the thing. I can't remember the whole theory, but when you watch it with that in mind, it totally still works. They just like took her out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who have the map. They're the ones who lose the map. And then Josh disappears in the middle of the night, and they don't see him disappear. And then they find this house in the middle of the woods, and he's screaming for help in there, and they can hear him. And then when she finds Mike at the end, like, he's just standing still. He's not, ripped open or anything. Have you heard about the alternate endings for the Blair Witch Project?
No.
When it got picked up by studios, they were like, this thing with him standing in the corner, that's not scary enough. So they did one where he was like crucified and like spread out and stuff. And
I didn't see any of that. Very effective.
I could probably find the pictures. Yeah, look.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't have been as scary.
When they would do test screenings, they were like, okay, that was stupid. And they just went back to like him just standing in the corner and her screaming at him. I don't even think you really retain the whole Blair Witch story and the guy who was like abusing kids.
They searched his house and they found the bodies of 7 kids.
Took the kids down in the basement by twos, and he made one face into the corner.
Really?
And then he would kill the other one.
But you retain the bits and pieces so that like by the time you actually see that happening and he's just refusing to turn around, it's just, The take home for Blair Witch in 2025, if you are interested in found footage, it's like the gold standard, but also it's been out long enough. It's becoming lesser known. Now's a good time if you know any Zoomers who are gullible to show them Blair Witch and tell them that it's just a real true crime. You can even use that phrase now and it'll make it even more convincing.
The good thing is they're simple movies.
They are. They're and that's the only way found footage ever works is simplicity. That's why Be My Cat works. That's why Chronicle does not work. We can be whatever, embarrassed and humbled by our choices. That mine's extremely basic, and yours has a dime store skeleton in it, and we both came with our apologies here. But the thing is when we were talking about doing a like movies that actually scare us theme,
yeah,
I was like looking at other people's lists of movies that are actually scary, and people have like The Conjuring and The Shining on there.
That's my favorite movie. I wouldn't have it as my scary anywhere in my scary movie.
And
list.
I get that The Conjuring is popular, and I get that The Shining is a classic. Those are not. You couldn't pay me to be scared by those movies. I think they might have had a higher budget for The Shining than they did for Hollow Shoals.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. What if Jack Nicholson had been in Hollow Shoals? What if
he would have scared
the witch.
I'm coming! What if the witch was
Shelley Long?
Shelley Duvall!
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Long?
Shelley Long is from Cheers. Well, I got my Shelleys mixed up.
Hey, I just say.
Let us know in the comments what movie really got to you. You may be like us, like, oh, things don't really scare us that much, but...
We won't kink shame. I mean scare shame.
We won't shame you at all, but feel free to shame us. If there's one thing we don't have is...
Pride. Oh my god, it's found footage.
If you find this video, I'm Bethany Summersizzle, and this is my lovely assistant Timmy, and this is Aliens on Fire! Great. Well, you know, I am supernatural.
And I'm just super.